Hello everyone. I am Vivek and I welcome you to the first episode of Vidya Manthan Season 3. This series is organized by Authority Solutions and Punekar News. In today's episode, we will be discussing on importance of co-curricular activities in holistic development of a child. Holistic development, educationally speaking, addresses a variety of student growth areas that schools aim to advance in the educational lifetime of a student. These include not only the intellectual aspects of a child's growth, but also development of the moral, spiritual, emotional, and physical arenas, all integral to the development of the whole child. Part of our collective human experience is to attach meaning and purpose to what we experience. Our minds and hearts work in concert with each other to enable us to think through decisions and have the ability to feel how decisions impact ourselves and others around us. Critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity are vital skills to develop in students as they grow to make decisions that affect not only their own lives but impact our society as well. All of this together make co-curricular activities vital in developing students holistically. To discuss and get more insight about this, we have three guests with us. First, we have Mrs. Anuradha Rakshit, Principal of DPS Kalinga. Ma'am has earned MSc and MA degrees, and she has vast experience of over 35 years in the field of education. Ma'am has been awarded the Best District Principal for 5 consecutive years by the Science Olympiad Foundation in recognition of the outstanding performance of the school in the Science Olympiad Foundation's Olympiad exams conducted during 2015 to 2020. Principal Mrs. Anuradha Rakshit received the Best Principal Award in the year 2017 and 2018 by Center of Educational Development for her contribution to excellence in education. Welcome, ma'am. We are glad that you could join us for today's talk.
Thank you, Vivek. And I, I'm just waiting eagerly to hear my co-panelists on this topic about co-curricular activities.
Definitely, ma'am. We also have with us today Mrs. Uma Mohandas Poduval, Principal of Wokhart Global School, Aurangabad. Mrs. Mohandas is a postgraduate in psychology with a B.Ed and M.Ed. Her inspiration for teaching as a passion and career came from her own teachers in the various schools she studied in India. Ma'am has experience of more than 35 years in the field of education. Welcome, ma'am. We are glad you could join us.
Thank you so much, Vivek. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would also like to welcome Father Joyson Kurian, Principal of St. Arnold's Central School, Pune. Sir has MA, B.Ed in English, and he has been in the teaching profession since 2005. Sir is a Catholic Christian Society of the Divine World, an international congregation which has branches in over 70 countries. As part of his international exposure, he has worked in African countries such as Togo and Democratic Republic of Congo. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us for this talk today.
Thank you, Vivek.
So let's start with today's topic. Again, many a times CCA, the co-curricular activities being optional, are undermined by majority of students and parents without understanding its importance. So, Anuradha ma'am, I'll start with you. According to you, what is the role of CCA in child's educational journey and beyond?
Well, when we say educational journey, I think that CCA is a part and parcel of it. So it's not that it's education. It's actually more or less the views or idea is education is academics, but it's not that because today's world demands I'll say a rounded personality of every child so that they are well equipped to take up any challenge in future. And like you said, whether it is decision making, problem solving, or critical thinking, it develops only when they have a balanced I'll say exposure to academics and co-curricular activities. Now, when we say co-curricular activities, it's not just the sports. It involves the music, dance, art, where the children have the scope to identify their strength and their weakness. It is something that helps the child to pursue one's passion. Even today's world, when anybody is in their own profession, but whenever they are getting a little free time, they still want to go back to their passion, and that actually helps in the mental well-being of a person. It is something where we say that, and we have to definitely keep in mind one thing, that competition is something, participation is something, and we have to encourage children to participate wholeheartedly, and that will help to develop the inner qualities in them. Later it is about results, it is about winning, it is about losing, or any if it is an individual competition, about the ranking and so on. But we have to insist on one thing, that they should participate and learn the qualities such as the team spirit, then leadership, then organization skills. That also helps a lot. If they are even organizing a small play or a role play, it needs who will do which part of the role play, and everything they have to decide, they have to work on it. That helps. So that is, I feel that co-curricular activities leads to a rounded personality of each child.
Definitely, ma'am, Anuradha ma'am, so well said that yeah, participation is important. Competition comes later on. Student must enjoy the participation, whatever the result may be. Uma ma'am, I'll come to you. What is your take on this?
All right. So, over the years, what I have experienced is that, whenever we talk about co curricular activities, people think that it's kind of a separate subject. Okay, I have my English, math, science, and then I have my co curricular activities. The understanding of how these two things merge and become a part and parcel of each other has only recently been implemented in many schools, in the sense that you say something like, okay, now you have an art lesson, okay, go for art, all right. But the amazing thing is, me being a social studies teacher, I would always try to get children to draw. The Indus Valley, I will ask them to draw a pyramid, I'll ask them to do these things. So, this is where what I would say that when you talk about co curricular activities, this is where we lost out a little bit. And now everyone realizes how important it is to make it a part and parcel of the academic journey of a child. We cannot, like Anuradha ma'am said, we cannot overemphasize also how important it is that this becomes a huge portion of a child's life in school. Um, when we say that it is physical education period, have you seen how children run out of the room? They just throw their books and bags and all down, and they are in the line and they're ready to go and play. What is that? What is that a physical education lesson has awakened in a child? It has awakened the play. It has awakened that I can be free. Now I can explore. Now I can do. And these things are seen as, okay, let us grade them on how he jumps, how he runs, how he is winning. No, this is something to let them know that yes, I have to have motor, hand-eye coordination. My psychomotor skills are being developed, and we can teach physics through basketball, for example. Okay. Now, because it's about angle, it's about force, it is about measurement, it's about movement, it's about that fish's eye that was being, targeted by looking in the water. So, what are you looking at? You are looking at an important part of a child's life, which is sidelined. So the emphasis or the importance of co-curricular activity, particularly in today's world now, it is so important that it has to be a part of the child's life, and every school should make it at least 80% of the child's journey, right? I hope I've answered your
Wow.
question.
Definitely, ma'am. So yes, you just bridge the hard skills with the soft skills in this way. Of course, physics can be taught via, like, sports can be taught via physics. How ball swings and how we, like, projectile motion, how we throw the ball in the basket.
Yes.
Definitely. Father Korean, I would love to have your inputs on the same.
Today, when we look at life, it is all about creativity, and it calls for quite a lot of imagination. And where do we get it from? Whether we are a farmer, whether we are an engineer, doctor, you take any profession where we need a lot of creativity being ingrained in it. Then where do we get it all? It's all coming from the activities that we have been doing all through our life. You take it sports, drama, singing, everywhere you need to be creative. The more and more students learn to be creative, you have a tendency to excel in it. And I feel co-curricular activities would create a sense of creativity and a sense of imagination. It also brings in a self-worth in the person. Yes, I'm good. It's not about the mark that I score. I'm able to sing, I'm able to run, I'm able to compete with others. I can play well. It's a feeling that yes, I can, even if I'm not very great at my academics. The self-worth of a person is measured, and that is possible only through co-curricular activities. And so co-curricular activities have to be part and parcel of a student's school life especially.
Definitely, sir. So since you emphasized on the professional careers and the essential skills, I would bring the next question directly to you. That what are the essential skills and values that can be developed by the co-curricular activities only?
Yeah, both the verbal as well as non-verbal communication. That's one of the important aspects of our life. And again, I come back to the same statement what I made. We learn it from co-curricular activities. We know how an artist, how he communicates. We look at some of the art pieces. I usually stand wondering at what has he come out with like. So verbal communication as well as non-verbal communication, both the child learns through co-curricular activities. The teacher may try her level best to teach how to communicate, but a child will come out better ways of communicating through his her art. And then the value system that the child learns is ability to interact with one another. No co-curricular activity is learned in one's structured room or in the classroom. It is in a collaboration with the rest of the society, companions, friends. So a sense of interaction with the public, with the others, the teachers, the trainers, and those who are taking part in it. It also brings in a value system of punctuality. Anything that we do, we need to be punctual with. Students may come late to the classrooms, but when he or she is given a task to complete a singing competition in 2 minutes time, he has to complete in 2 minutes time. We cannot go beyond that. So punctuality comes in. And the neatness, the more and more we work harder on a particular ability of a person, definitely neatness comes in. And that neatness comes in his organized lifestyle as well. And we also learn kind of how to handle failure. In academic structure, we find it very hard to face failure. Even when I lose one mark, I'm up depressed. But when it comes to co-curricular activities, I'm not exactly graded for what I do. I'm valued for my worth. Then a lot of teamwork. one in theme, singing, the musical, a game that the children play, especially the group games. So a lot of teamwork is involved in all this. So these are the social values that we learn through co-curricular activities.
Uh, Definitely, sir. Your emphasis on it is a way of expression. Definitely, it's a different way of communication via art, by the story a child tells or the poem a child recites, and definitely here it's not the grade that is received as award, but the enjoyment and the participation that is more important. Anuradha ma'am, your input on the same, please. That what are the essential skills and values that can be developed by the co-curricular activities only?
Basically, I feel that first and foremost, some amount of self discipline is instilled. Because when we know that when that is a group activity, everybody has to respect the space of the other. Otherwise, what will happen? There will definitely be some kind of a, I'll say, some kind of a difference in opinion. And nowadays, I have seen what I have seen in students is that they are not ready to accept. So once they are in team games or in such certain kind of activities beyond their books, that gives the environment, that gives the atmosphere to identify their own strength and also accept the strength of others. Now actually the latest, all the children, I can't say all children, but yes, many children who are interested in sports must be watching the Olympics. Now when it is the question of watching Olympics, it there itself on the screen itself they can learn many things from there, that how the participants, they are so self disciplined, they do not go beyond their limitations, yet they bring, of course, many have brought glory to India, but they do bring glory to their respective countries. So that itself speaks. Now when it comes to music, now music is something which I feel that it if we go to multiple intelligence, we know that where all said and done, some in some way the child has a knack for a particular field. So, if it is sports, games, gymnastics, skating, again we can say it is the kinesthetic skill. When it comes to the languages, it is a language skill, numerical skill. So, here we find that the simple winning of Neeraj Chopra, that the projectile throw of the javelin, that the same person was, it was of different kind distance, it was only because the thrust, the angle at which it was being, I think, thrown at the initial point. So these are the small observation. Even in a simple running race, the starters, the art of changing the baton in a relay, everything has science in it, everything has physics in it. So that itself, it will help to develop the social skills, emotional stability, and also certain personal value system. It will inculcate certain personal value system, because I have noticed that, as Mr. Korean, Father Korean just said, that yes, the one of the things is that they have to be taught to handle failure. Now the day has come when children are programmed to handle success. But these activities will help them because it is a team game. There is a difference between when a team loses and an individual loses. So when it comes to marks, it is individual. When it comes to team, it is the entire team together. And through these team activities, they learn better to handle, I'll say, the failure, or exactly not failure, not securing the first position. If I will correlate it to academics, not securing the first position, that is what actually one should celebrate. So that is what I always tell my teachers to bring in the real life examples into the classroom. Now, India has celebrated the bronze medal. But if they would lose heart that we only aim at the goal, then I think we would again will not be showing the proper team spirit, and we would not be having the value system inside us. So that is what I would definitely say. And as far as physics is concerned, it is through music also. It is the percussion instruments. It is the stringed instruments. Through the instruments also, they can learn a lot of physics in that, and that is what the teachers are expected to do. They blend the concepts with their activities. Art integrated learning, in short. Thank you, Vivek.
Beautifully said, ma'am. Of course, the co-curricular activities teaches us the subjects in a practical way. We actually get to see that how a trigonometry works, or how, again, you said the waves and sound, the topic of physics, how they can be actually visualized, they can be seen practically in music, and of course, in almost every other co-curricular activities, we can relate it to the real subject the student learns. Uma, ma'am,
Real
I'll come
life.
to you. Yes, ma'am, indeed. Uma, ma'am, your inputs on this. Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Yes. So I think Father Korean and Anuradha ma'am have kind of covered most of the, in terms of what essential skills and values are covered with co-curricular activities. I'll talk about the three C's, communication, collaboration, and creativity. If you look at any activity that is part of what you call the co-curricular bunch of activities, you'll find that these three things are fundamental. Everything else rises out of these three C's. Okay, so when you're looking at a team project, for example, until they know how to collaborate, they won't be able to do that particular project. If you're looking at allowing the children, a simple example of a Teachers' Day activity, kids love to do Teachers' Day, and we say that, okay, you do the script, you write the whole thing, you present the whole thing. What have we taught them? We've taught them communication and collaboration, and we have taught them teamwork. We have taught them sharing. We've taught them opportunities to give the job to the person who can do it. What have we taught them finally through this? That when they go into the world of work, this eye is open for them, that they know to whom to give what work to do. Okay, they automatically become leaders. So when you look at collaboration and communication is there. Now when you talk about communication, it's not about clarity of language or how well you speak English. It is how well you can convey what you want to convey, and that will happen only when you are put in situations or opportunities are given in school for you to bring that out. Then you come to creativity. When you say creativity, for creativity, you require collaboration and communication, because without these two, creative thought is also going to be a little, it's not going to be, what do you call it, 100%. So what happens in creativity? In creativity is you are looking at the combination of your team, you're looking at who can do what. Then when a lot of inputs come to you, you begin to think out of the box. Now, what is this out of the box? Someone asked me, what do you mean by out of the box? I said, first you need to have the box. Then only you can think out of the box. Okay. So you have all these small things that contributes to all the essential skills that you require in your life. I want to give an example of one of my students. Do I have 2 minutes for that? Just 1 minute. Yeah, okay.
Definitely, ma'am.
So these are two of my students my ex-students who went on to study at Manchester University. So at that university, many students from around the world came, from London and Germany and Tokyo and Australia and so on and so forth. And one fine day, of course, as the course began, these children were asked to do presentations, which is a common thing nowadays in school, that children are asked to do their own presentations on a particular topic. Somehow these kids, they did an excellent job, and those who had come from so-called very big cities and excellent colleges and schools, they were not able to do it as much or as well as it. I'm trying not to keep my pride showing so much, but so then the students were asked, my two students were asked that, okay, where are you all coming from? Are you coming from Delhi? Are you coming from Mumbai? So they said, no, we're coming from Aurangabad. So they said, what is Aurangabad? We've never heard of this place. But that didn't matter. What mattered was that these children took this opportunity of learning something different. And they go all the way to a university which is world famous, and there you are communicating, you're collaborating, and you are showing that you have the skills to make it in the world. So this is about what you call essential skills. Values, I cannot emphasize more. It is about tolerance. It is about understanding diversity in your group. That is very important. That, okay, I understand that this friend cannot do this because these are his issues, right? Or this friend has come from this background, therefore he cannot do these things. So all of this become an essential part of learning through co-curricular activities. Okay.
Definitely, ma'am. So, as you emphasized on all the practical skills and knowledge that is required, the three C's.
Yeah.
So, this directly brings a question that co-curricular activities are essential and they're must for a child. So, what is your view on this?
Well, like all three of us have already mentioned why it is a must and why it is essential. Most importantly, sometimes a child needs to introspect. Okay. We don't give that opportunity for a child to introspect because we are always burying him or her in a lot of academic work. Okay, do this, do this. So we are looking only at the external output of a child. Okay, homework is done, assignment is complete, and wow, everything is looking great with this kid. But where can a child introspect? A child can introspect only when he learns how to discover himself, what are the qualities he has. And those qualities are not going to be shown when you are doing simultaneous equation or quadratic equation, right? It is going to come out when you are going to play a musical instrument, when the teacher challenges you to sing not at this level but take it a little higher, and then he goes home and he says, why can't I do it? So, here a little bit of introspection has occurred. The child is allowed to examine himself. When he examines himself, let me tell you, that kind of growth, that kind of defining moment can never come in a classroom that is only for studies. It's not going to happen. So, like I said, 80% of the school work should be co-curricular activities. Then we will have amazing students in future.
Definitely, ma'am. I totally agree with all of your points. I would like to have.
I think you are muted, Vivek.
Uh, can you hear me, ma'am? Now?
Yeah, yes.
So yes, I totally agree that yes, co-curricular activities needs its importance in our curriculum for sure. For Korean, I would like to have your views on the same, please.
Yeah, it's essential for a student, for everyone in fact, but it cannot be forced on someone. It cannot be forced on any student for that matter. And what we need to do is a kind of openness to any activity that the child feels comfortable with. The parents may force, the school may force on one or the other activities, but if the child has no interest in that, we cannot force it on. The more and more we force, the child withdraws himself from the scene. If you are having a competition for singing or as an activity, allow him to take part if he is interested. If not, put him elsewhere. So our system doesn't have that kind of flexibility wherein we can accommodate what the child really is looking for, what the child is really good at, or what he really enjoys doing it. I would rather go with the last one. What one enjoys doing most, encourage children to do that. I'm really happy with the CBSE, the way it has come out with the every day at least 1 hour of sports. Bad luck for everyone. Ever since it came out, we are back at home. In fact, otherwise, practically children would have filled our campus with a lot of fun and lovely running around. So I would say that it is a must, but it should be left to the child to decide what he should follow with. Not that he takes up every activity and everything that comes on the way and makes mistakes after mistakes and withdraw himself at one particular stage. No, that's my take on it.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, sir. It should be by the choice of the child, and it should never be imposed on him. But again, it becomes our duty to ensure that child finds out his true passion, because many times their hidden talents remain hidden and they're reluctant to showcase it due to peer pressure or stage fear or something like that. And we should also ensure that every child has
I
some
think you're
opportunity, and it's
muted
our duty
again,
to
Vivek.
uh I think maybe some issue with the earpiece. Ma'am, am I audible now?
Yes.
Uh, So definitely, Father Korean, child must be allowed to follow his passion, but of course of his choice, not be imposed. Anuradha, ma'am, again I'll come to you. So co-curricular activities are essential that we have discussed, and they are must for a child. So what are your views on this?
They are a must, definitely. Now, I would like to say that when it comes to their area of interest, like we rightly said, that their area of interest, again, a child who wants to sing today wants to dance tomorrow. So it is something which we have to provide them that platform initially to overcome their fear, and in a stress free environment. Where do we think that they will be stressed out? There we should not force them. But like when we have, suppose we have an annual function. Now in the annual function, it is not that, it is suppose we do it that we actually include every child in some role or in some item, because there, even if the child is a conscious person, has stage fear, we have, some kind of a role where we have to play for they have to be a flower or a tree or something, but we ensure that they go on to the stage. So once they start going on to the stage, then only they will overcome the stage fear. So similarly, we have to give them scope, ample scope to choose. But at a tender age, we cannot take their choice as the final choice. So that is something which we have to keep in mind. I have seen children that when they reach the middle school, that is the time when they start identifying, yes, I want to learn guitar, or I want to learn the violin, or I want to go in for drums, I want to go in for any other musical instrument. Similarly, some, even in sports, somebody wants to take a basketball. So we should have that range of choice, where we feel that yes, if the child is not finding football interesting, we should not force the child for football, but we have to give the child an alternate option, because we know that physical fitness is definitely one part of I'll say healthy uh, growing ups in the school. So if we do not give them an alternate, where does the child stand? So that is first ample opportunity and ample choice. Second is a stress free environment. That is very important. Once the child feels stressed out, the child loses interest, and as rightly said, starts withdrawing and sort of goes into I'll say a very lonely attitude. So that is not a very healthy attitude. So we have to identify, give the scope for them to explore and exploit, and then pursue that particular passion in the secondary and senior secondary stage. But in the formative years, during the formative years, they have to be exposed to different co-curricular activities for them to freeze upon their choice when they reach that particular age, as when they understand, yes, this is what I am cut out for and I will pursue this as my hobby. Now, why has CBSE started these concepts of skill development, art integrated learning? These are something where it is definitely a step to give scope to those children who do not find books interesting all the time. We cannot expect that all children will find all books interesting, but we have to make them interested for something. So we have to give them the alternate and hone on those skills. We have children who dropped their board exam to participate in an international basketball tournament. So I asked the two boys many a times that, think it over, you're going to lose out on 1 year. They said, no ma'am, we will lose out on 1 year, but we will go for the international tournament. And I did allow them to go for the international tournament. So that is what I felt, that if I stop them there, their career stops there, because they were not even standing steady in front of me when I just asked, think it over. They started playing basketball there itself. They said, no, no, ma'am, we have made up our mind. So we have to give them the options. You are ready to give the exam, or you are ready to go for the international basketball tournament? No, international basketball tournament. And I know stopping them would not help them. So that is how we have to handle the children and give them the alternate, give them the ample scope. But they were already in class 12, so they knew that where I stand. And of course, the next year they have appeared, passed, and joined Symbiosis Pune. So I'm also happy about their success rate. So that is what I feel.
Definitely, ma'am. It's our utmost responsibility to introduce them to all the co-curricular activities available
Yes.
and let them decide. But introduction, it's our responsibility for sure. So, Radha ma'am, I'll continue with you only. Now,
Yes.
we have discussed its utmost importance, but most of the co-curricular activities being optional, maybe you said about annual day, but majority students do not participate only, right? We see 10 to 15% participation, and the same students repeatedly participate in almost all the activities throughout the year. So how should we increase participation? How should we ensure that every student gets to participate?
Uh, that starts from the in-house programs. Now there are so many so now I'll just share with you now that we are during the pandemic situation. Initially it was a great challenge how we will conduct the classes, the only the academics part. Once the academics was taken care of, we all felt that it is time for us now to think of the co-curricular activities even on the virtual platform. So we did continue with all these celebrations, whether it was the Rakhi celebration, Janmashtami, Independence Day, Republic Day, and we divided that each event for one class. So that class, they suppose for Rakhi class 1, Janmashtami class 2, and it was that we could see that there was the participation could be more because we restricted it to one class. And secondly, even on the virtual platform, I think I will be going to another area, that the parents were very supportive. The parents were very supportive to see that the children are going beyond their textbooks and participating in these co-curricular activities, which was definitely, I'll say, a mental relaxation for the children. So that is where we plan it that way, that we give them. Now I cannot have a virtual swimming competition, obviously. So I also have to think of which activity I can have virtual. And we did plan out, and they had quiz competition, they had music competition, vocal music competition, inter house competition. And we found that children balanced between their academics and co-curricular activities. Even if I would be a student, I would not like that even in the virtual classes only the academics being imparted from the time the children are sitting and till the end of the screen time. So we thought, even I would like to share one more thing. We organized a virtual tour for the children. They were taken even to one in Odisha is very rich in biodiversity. So we have so many biological parks, and so we took the children for a virtual tour, and they really enjoyed it. It was a virtual picnic for them. So that way we have to think how we can, various ways where we can ensure maximum participation. That is what I put forth, because there are some activities where we cannot have mass participation, so we should avoid those. And then the smaller in-house programs will finally culminate into the annual day celebration. So we are all waiting when the children will be back on the stage. But let's see what we can do. We will keep doing during this pandemic situation also, just to make
Definitely.
just to make learning fun. That is our aim. That is, the learning should be fun. Children should enjoy learning. Children should not be under a stressed environment for the teaching learning process. That's it.
Right, ma'am. So, of course, school plays a very vital role in ensuring that every child develops in some co-curricular activities.
Yes.
And yes, I'm glad to hear your points. Uma Mohandas, ma'am, your take on the same, please. Since children like they hesitate to participate, so how should we increase that participation? Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Sorry. First of all, whatever Anuradha ma'am said, we have been doing also in our school, where we start with in-house things, small activities we start with, so the child is not overwhelmed by the bigness of the program or the bigness of the presentation. So it's when the large audience or the more critical audience is in front that they begin to say that no, I will not participate. That's one. Secondly, the small things like a assembly. In an assembly, you're allowed. We ask them that okay, you can tell a short story, and instead of one person telling a short story, we tell 2, 3 people. You stand on the stage, and you can read from the paper, tell this short story. And we used to encourage the audience, that is the rest of the students, to clap really loudly. So somewhere, like I said, I always believe in this defining moments. So somewhere one kid will feel, oh wow, okay, this was not too bad, right? So if we can make that difference in each person's child in different co-curricular activities, then I feel that this hesitancy to participate will reduce to a large extent. Now, this is a slow process, Vivek. It is not something overnight we are going to have one kid who never talks in class and next morning he is debating on the stage. That's not going to happen. It's going to go slowly. Second is, like ma'am, again, I'm going back to Anuradha ma'am's points, that for big productions, I remember making a stone out of a child. Okay, then one child is just a flower and this thing, and he is so happy with that. And when small, maybe not so significant roles or parts are given to children who just get an introduction to, okay, what is it like to do something in public, all those things will contribute to the bigger picture at a later stage. And that is, it's a process, right? It is not something that overnight a child is going to change. So similarly, every co-curricular activity has its place. So a kid who is a good orator, and I ask him to do a computer presentation, he's going to say, what are you doing? I mean, I better go. I want to stand there and talk. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I want to do that. Why are you asking me to do this, computer program? So identifying what is their aptitude, their interest, and see, the teacher has to have that third eye, that instinct to know where the kid can go, and put the child over there, introduce him to those areas, and start in a small way. And over a period of time, like ma'am said, in secondary and senior secondary school, they are the ones who are going to be up on the stage. They're going to be the ones who are going to take the leadership roles. They are the ones who are going to be organizing something in the school. So this way we can definitely increase participation. Yeah.
Definitely, ma'am. The inception is important, and eventually, yes, the when we sow the seed, it is bound to grow and
Grow.
come into a
Yes.
tree. Father Korean, a long wait. I'll come to you. So, how should we increase the participation when majority students hesitate?
Students hesitate to take part mostly because there's a lot of discouragement that they receive from the teachers, the principal, or even their own peer group. Uh, Teachers in particular do not want the children to make mistake. They end up going for rigorous practice so that they put up a good show, even if it is an annual day function or a teachers day function or name it any small program, even if it is an assembly. If we ask the teachers to conduct the assembly for a week, we end up seeing the same children doing the same thing at least twice in a week. Just purely because not that the teachers don't want give chance to somebody else, because it is in them that the students should not make mistakes in public. So first and foremost, the teacher should be trained. Making mistake in public is acceptable practice in the society, and any mistake that is made in public need not be corrected in public at all. Any correction in public highly demotivates a child. So as a result, one by one, the child withdraws himself or herself from all the activities that he had been taking up. So we need to have a kind of backup wherein the teachers, the principal, the management would stand by any child who makes a mistake. And don't think in terms of the best of show. At the end of the show, people come and congratulate the principal and the teachers, saying, okay, the students did extremely well. Forgetting the fact, in the process, we have hurt and demotivated quite a lot of students in the back end. So if that is taken care of, I think the students will automatically take part in most of the activities that they are invited or that they have the opening to take part.
Wow, this is a point I love, that we must applaud the children in public and correct them in private, and not the otherwise. So, Father Korean, I'll continue with you only. That we are also aware, even we know the importance, and we have discussed the same things thus far. Due to excess competition that we have in our country, CCA is one of the least important part of the curriculum. So, what do you feel about this?
Yeah, children are willing to take part in all the activities until they are in standard or grade 8. By the time they reach standard 9, 10, 11, 12, the participation comes down from 70%, 50 to 30 to 20. That is really a worrying factor for the reason that what matters to them most is the academic scores. It is purely because everything in India, admission to any program, any course, any activity, everything depends on the mark one scores. And the peer pressure that the children have to do better, and the parental pressure that is imposed on them by the society, the comparisons that are made between or among the students, these are all affecting the students to do better. And now today, the fashion is from 6th standard up, they enroll themselves for some coaching classes and absolutely no time for anything else other than the school, 6 hours in school, go back home and end up in a coaching center for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And we have reached a stage wherein in 11th and 12th standard, children end up taking dummy colleges, wherein they don't have to go for attend. They don't have to attend the college or classes. Meanwhile, they would spend more of their time in coaching classes. So it is all because of the pressure that is put on them to score better. The admission process to professional courses or in the higher education sector should come in based on the ability of a student, not just in academic matters, but in every other aspects. If co-curricular activities, performance of student in a co-curricular activities, even if it is a live interview in which the child is tested, if that is included in the selection criteria, definitely children would love to continue with the hobbies that they have got, the talent that they have got. There are girls who are excellent in classical dances, but they do training themselves maybe up to 8th standard, 9th standard. After that, maybe when they're in the senior colleges, they might go back and learn a bit more, and some of them might become professional. How many have dropped 1 or 2 years to learn the dance well? Very, very few. So I would say any admission to a professional course or a higher education, we need to include a live demo of the talent that the child has got, especially in public speaking, in debate, in dance, in mimicry, monact, all that. If that is included in the system, definitely children would love to take part.
Right, sir. So yes, and I totally agree with your points, and I'm pretty sure that with new education policy 2020, emphasis is given more in this direction, so that yes, CCA becomes integral. It is not left due to the excessive academic pressure that children face post the secondary class. Anuradha ma'am, your point on this, please kindly unmute and give us the insight.
Yes, we do agree that the academic pressure increases as they go from the middle school to secondary and senior secondary. But again, it is like still you find then what would be that we have to have the career counseling from class 9 itself and put all the career options in front of them from class 9 itself, where the children can pursue the career of their choice. It is as soon as they come to class 10, everybody wants to do science, and as soon as they prepare for the class 12, they start filling up their forms for medical entrance and engineering entrance as if there is no other option. But it is the duty of, I'll say, the teachers or the authority to make them aware, not only them, their parents aware of what are the different career options available. Because if the child has actually is serious upon the taking up medical science, there the child being tested on mimicry or on dramatics, it is not supportive. But if a child is very good in acting and can pursue a career in acting, should be shown the way, should that hand holding should be there, so that the children can think beyond 2 or 3 well defined career. Now what happens is everybody enrolls for medical entrance, engineering entrance. The coaching institutes, they put up their results that these many children have qualified for IIT, but till date we have never seen that these many children have qualified out of how many children enrolled. So there they only highlight their success stories, but there are children behind the scene who have lost it. They take 1 year drop, 2 year drop, and then third year they decide to come to the mainstream and study, pursue graduation, BSc, MSc, or any other. But today, as on like I'd say, as on date, we have many career options, and it is we who have to throw light on this from class 9 itself. That will help them to choose their stream in class 11, and likewise prepare after 11 what professional course they will be taking up. Even see, now nobody, if you ask any child what is the career that you want to pursue, nobody will say I will want to become a teacher. It is something where it is, I do not know, till now we have not been able to instill that yes, that is also one of the professions and a very respectable profession. But uh, by repeatedly bringing in people for career counseling, or by only external agents, even the teachers, they can time to time give them the options. The school counselor can do the job. And we have seen children enrolling for RIE. In Bhubaneswar, we have RIE, that is Regional Institute of Education, and they have decided to be teachers also. So I feel that it is we who have to guide them, and and tell them that even this is important. Co-curricular activities is important, because whatever you are in your profession, this will help. Even if you are software engineer and you are having a function in your IT company, your input will be valued. You are playing the guitar there means you are definitely going to have a special applause. So that is how, if we put it, children will get motivated. Yes, we can do both together.
Definitely, ma'am. I totally agree to the point that a child's career, professional career, should be his passion based, his hobby based, and not should not be decided by the marks he procures in the board exams 10th or 12th. And it should not be imposed that yes, you are above 95%, so you must choose science, or you must appear for JEE or NEET. Otherwise, of course. And you highlighted a great point. I should bring forth to our audience that never go with the whole numbers that are displayed on the ads. You should always check the success percentage of any institution, organization, coaching class, as ma'am said, because they will say it's 80 students qualified for IIT, JEE, or NEET, but it's out of 3,000 or out of 4,000, then it's negligible. So you should always check the success percentage and not the whole number. Uma ma'am, your take on the same, please. Due to excess competition, yes, is the least important part.
Yeah. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go to another demography. I'm going to talk about the parents here. Uh, the seed of the seed is sown at home when it is said, आप गिटार क्यों खेल रहे हो, क्यों बजा रहे हो, है ना, कल एग्जाम है ना. Now the kid has taken the guitar actually to relieve himself of some stress. Plus, some creative music has come in his mind, and he just wants to play it and see that, okay, does that work? I've gone to the minutest ever example. So when the atmosphere at home, the ethos at home is about, this is why we have sent you to school, and this is what you have to do, and there is no future in this, automatically the child has started withdrawing from what is offered in the school. you know okay, if I'm going to go and play basketball or cricket for 2 hours, when I go home I'm going to get a very nice sounding out. Now, in these circumstances, what can we do? I totally agree with Anuradha ma'am about counseling. When I say counseling, I'm not just talking about career counseling, I'm also talking about personal counseling. And this personal counseling has to be a three-way process with the teacher, the parent, and the student. Because the student has to be understood by the teacher and the parent, and the teacher and the parent have to become partners in understanding the child and giving the child the opportunity not only to work on his or her academic part, but also understand how this co-curricular activity actually promotes his success in academics. I don't know if this is a very far off theory, but over the years I have seen when there is a dissonance between what the parent wants, what the school is providing, and where the child wants to go, that's when the co-curricular activities are dropped. That's when the co-curricular activities take a backseat. So this is where we have to this is where the counseling has to take place. So along with career counseling, along with telling them where you can be headed with co-curricular activities, you can also teach them to understand how to manage their aptitude, plus look at some points in the future. One, just because I have that example, I'm telling you, I have a student who is a lawyer. He works at Bombay High Court. He used to sing like anything in school, like every this thing. He said, I want solo, little solo I want in that whole group song. Today he does live shows and he is a lawyer. So, there is a possibility where we can allow the child to pursue his passion as well as do his academics. And definitely, the parent has to be the part of the process. Otherwise, it's a big crisis at home. Thank you.
Well said, ma'am. And lots of questions. And this discussion can go endless, but since we have time constraint, I would like to start with Father Korean. Sir, your message for our viewers, students, and parents, please.
My message to all of us, right? Um, Take co-curricular activities as part and parcel of one's life. Don't think in terms of wasting money. Don't think it as a waste of time, but take it the the amount of time that we spend on academic, the amount of time that we spend or money that we spend for academic life. It is also equally important to give some credit to the talent, to the hobbies that the children have. Today, children are becoming addicted to mobiles, internet. To take them out of it, you need to engage them somewhere, some activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Anuradha, ma'am, your message for our viewers, students, and parents, please.
Yes, I would like to tell each viewer, please take care of your mental health along with your physical health. And the path to take care of your mental health is the co-curricular activities during the formative years, and during the later years with this, that will be your passion, and that will definitely be a stress buster for all those who are working or those who are in any kind of very demanding or where the work pressure is high. So do not take co-curricular activities as a separate unit. It can be well blended into the school curriculum, and that later that will help you to be socially, emotionally stable and physically fit individuals. Thank you.
Definitely, ma'am. Well said. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your input. Uma Mohandas, ma'am, your message for our viewers, students, and parents.
Absolutely nothing more to add than what Father Korean and Anuradha ma'am has said. At the same time, just along with whatever they have said, I would like to add that if we are partners with children, and if the parents can also partner with the school, we don't need to have this crisis of what is a co-curricular activity and why are you participating. Partner means a person who enables, helps, and creates provision and opportunities for growth. So a child can grow only when we all get together and allow him or her the freedom, and that can happen only through co-curricular activities. Thank you so much, Vivek.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Definitely. I would like to conclude by saying only one statement that yes, success is satisfaction. So do not compromise on the satisfaction of your soul because of the satisfaction of your basic needs for which you work. So that is
And
what most important. So yes.
yes, I would just like to add one closing line. I think, Vivek, I thank you for today's show. And I think your dating during your school days is definitely an input which has helped you for what you are doing today. So
Yes,
that's
yes, yes, ma'am. The formative year, as you said, that's I was channelized in a proper direction.
thank you,
That has
ma'am.
made
Thank
me what
you.
I'm today.
We
Thank you
are
so
all
much.
looking at you like you are a proud, you are a student of ours, like we are proud teachers. But you
No,
are doing such a fabulous
yeah,
job. Yes.
no, we are trying, we are looking at him right now there, and we are trying to visualize him on the stage
Oh,
behind the mic with either speaking for the motion or speaking against the motion. Okay.
Thank you so much, Anuradha ma'am, Father Korean, and Uma ma'am for your valuable time and the inputs. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
okay,
you, and God bless you.
okay. Thank you.